Welcome to This Week in Medical Terminology. This week, we're going to talk about the endocrine system. The poor little endocrine system really does not get a lot of attention. Most people wouldn't even think about going to an endocrinologist. I mean, they're not as familiar as the cardiologist or even a dermatologist, but the endocrine system is in charge of a lot of what goes along with the function of the human body. So, first of all, the endocrine system is also has its pieces parts throughout the body, starting from the head, the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, the thyroid gland and the parathyroid glands, the adrenal glands, which sit on top of the kidneys, and the thymus. Very nice. Okay, the thymus is right here in the center of your chest. So I should have done that in order. So anyway, the point is that the parts of the endocrine system are stationed throughout the body and all have different requirements. You'll also notice that the pancreas is mentioned on your illustration, and the pancreas is a multifunction organ. And what I mean by that is it does get involved in endocrine functionality, but in addition, it is also part of the digestive system. If you remember, it's an accessory organ to the digestive system. So it's pretty interesting how some of our organs are multitasking. So be kind to your pancreas. Also, not noted are the testicles in a male and ovaries in a female, which are your sex glands. And that's the ovaries in a female, not the fallopian tubes and not the uterus. The ovaries are where the glands, the endocrine glands, are located to stimulate female reproductive necessaries. Okay, and in the male, of course, it is the testicles. Testicle. All right, so the hypothalamus is located within your brain. It's all the way, you see where it is? It's located all the way in there in the third ventricle of the brain. And it creates eight different hormones. Okay, so it's very, very busy. And you can see where it is positioned in the brain. Not easy access for a surgeon, for example. But as we said, it does several jobs that are responsible for functioning and hormones throughout the body. Okay. All right. So the pituitary gland has two lobes, and you notice if we go back here, you'll notice this right here in the lower left-hand corner of the illustration are the pituitary glands. You can see there the two lobes. Okay. So two lobes, the adenohypophysis, which produces hormones when the hypothalamus tells it to. Boop, produce, boop, produce, okay? And the neurohypophysis is responsible for storing two hormones that come directly from the hypothalamus. So the pituitary gland, these lobes in the pituitary gland are like storage tanks for hormones, so they can then be released throughout the body as they are needed. Okay. Thyroid. You may know somebody who has hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism. Okay. Hyperthyroidism means the thyroid is overactive. It's doing more than it's supposed to. And hypo means below, right? Hypothyroidism means the thyroid gland is not producing the hormones as is required by the body, okay? This also has two lobes that reaches around the trachea. Remember, the trachea is the tube that goes from the back of your mouth down into where? Your lungs. Trachea passes oxygen into your lungs and expels carbon monoxide, okay? Carbon dioxide. Not to be confused with the esophagus, which is right next to it, which leads directly into your stomach, okay? So the thyroid gland is here around, here around the trachea laterally. So that's from side to side like this, okay? And it connects in the front by an isthmus. Okay. Now we go to the adrenal glands. And if you look and separate out this word like you're learning in medical terminology, add it on, renal, which you know is the medical term for kidney, right? Adrenal glands, also known as the suprarenal glands. They are glands on top of the kidneys. And you can see them here in our illustration. The yellow area, it kind of looks like a weird hat on top of the kidneys, okay? But it produces more than 25 adrenocortical hormones, also known as corticoids or corticosteroids. And if you know anybody who has taken a steroid or a corticosteroid, then that is to assist in this production and this functioning of this area of the body. Okay, and our favorite, the pancreas. Isn't that your favorite? Oh, come on. The pancreas is this odd-shaped thing that sits it's nestled in the attachment between the bottom of your stomach and the small intestine, and it's nestled in there. And part of it, if you remember, part of it from when we talked about the digestive system, it contributes juices right there into that duct to assist as the food is passing from the stomach into the small intestine. Okay, so then you might say, well, why are we talking about that? That's the digestive system. We're talking about the endocrine system. So that's because, as I mentioned before, the pancreas does double duty. The pancreas, inside the pancreas are clusters of endocrine cells, okay, called the islets of Langerhans. Pancreatic islets that produce hormones. Remember that someone with diabetes, and having too much sugar in your bloodstream is directly a malfunction of the pancreas. And that is the islets of Langerhans, which is not doing its job properly. Okay. All right. And that's it for the endocrine system. The endocrine system, like I said, I mean, you look at, I'm going to go back here. You look at all of the parts that are included in the endocrine system working to produce these hormones that are feeding into the function of many other parts of the body. And so it's an accessory system, but it's connected to everything. And so it's very, very important. And lots of things can go wrong if even one of these organs malfunctions. Okay, so Very important that you review often. This is not anatomy, medical terminology is not something you want to sit down and memorize too much. So you want to review it, get your brain used to it, get familiar with it. Use that medical dictionary and query me whenever necessary. Whenever you encounter something that you're not sure about, that you don't understand, that's when you should send me an email and say, And you can say, is this right? Or why is this wrong? Or I don't understand. Can we talk it through? Absolutely. Or we could do a one-on-one Zoom. We could do FaceTime, whatever it is. But please do not just shovel something to the side and say, I'll figure it out later, because there's too much here. Okay. And it is critical to your success as a professional. Whatever aspect of healthcare you want to work in, you got to speak the language. And bonus, we all become a patient at some point in time. Isn't it nice to understand what the doctor is saying? It really helps you be a better team with your doctor to solve whatever issues or prevent whatever issues. I promise. Okay. So does anybody have any questions? Okie dokie. Then when you do have questions, email me. And in the meantime, next week is 4th of July summer break. We will have no classes next week. I still will be checking my email because that's how I am. So you have any questions, by all means, enjoy July 4th, be safe and be well. Bye.